Well, I think that's kind of the key there is our experience. So instead of kind of sitting there and going, oh, what do we think the problems are? Or how do we, or going out and doing user interviews, which most people would normally do when you're trying to solve a problem. We took it and I think we took it slightly differently, but what everyone should do is work out what the problem was for us and then extrapolate that for the wider team. So I mean, we know that booking a care worker is ridiculously hard. We know that getting payments is hard. We know that the kind of the offline communication. So our office operates technically between the hours of 9 to 5. But what happens outside of those? How do people find information? How do people get hold of us? So we kind of looked at what ours was, and over the last, 18 years, every year we send out user surveys to customers, to service users, to local authorities we work with, to our staff. And what we did was we actually took all that information and used that as our kind of initial feature list and said, okay, this is 300 questions that or things that people have said over the years that are a problem. Which one of these can we solve? And then can we start bracketing them up into, okay, we kind of went back to our old Moscow rules of must haves, should haves, and could haves. But what were in a sense priorities? Which was the P1s? Which things do we think we could easily fix? Which ones do we think were a short-term fix? Which ones do we think were, oh, actually these are long-term, and these were the ones that were actually, do you know what? These were just user problems that don't really need to be fixed. So by taking that feature list and looking at that, and I think for anyone that's kind of trying to create a product, it's always easier to create a product and even to kind of speak to somebody, to speak to somewhere from a position of, I understand the problem and I see what the problem is, instead of me going, well, actually, I've never built a spaceship, so I can't tell you what the problems are to build a spaceship. But I've built companies from the ground up. I've built care agencies and I've built startups. So I know what the problems is. So it's always good to speak from you, think of you as inevitably as the initial user, work out what your problems are, and then start going, okay, who else has these problems? And how other ways can we solve those problems? That's kind of always the best way to do it. Because once you start speaking from a position of understanding, your brain can kind of map. You can do that spider diagram, that spider map, and go, okay, these are all the problems. These are what I need to fix. This is what I need to work on.